Hello everyone, and welcome to the start of the Slender LP. I am going to explain just a little bit about, I guess, what to expect from the game and what Slender Man even is, since the whole game is based upon the idea that you kind of know what Slender Man is to some degree before you even start playing the game. Or, yeah, because it doesn't really explain what you're supposed to do in regards to him or why certain things happen. So the game is much like a lot of independent horror games where it's got pretty basic gameplay. The gameplay for the game is just basically run through, collect so many items, and get away. Meanwhile, while you're doing that, some entity is chasing you, and you have to avoid becoming caught because you have no way to fight back. And they kill you instantly, so you don't even have a life bar, you just die. And so in that respect, the game, I don't know, there could be more to the game. There could be different gameplay elements, there could be different types of objectives. However, the game was made fairly quickly, it's pretty cheap. As far as I know, I think like one guy worked on it. So for all of that, it is actually a fairly good game, and I really hope that the success of this basic game has created more of a stir to try and make it where the guy who made this game can work with more of a team to make a bigger and more involved game. Now, as for the Slender Man, he is an entity that was dreamed up on the Something Awful message boards, I believe during one of their creepypasta contests or something like that. And I can't remember who made him, but the game credits him at the end in the credits, so if you're that interested, you can figure that out. The Slender Man has a few pretty universal properties about him. One, he's abnormally tall with abnormally long limbs. He can summon tentacles to grab people with. And he's always dressed in a business suit. Now, his operating procedure in that regard, in the original creepypasta, was that he would go to places where children congregate and kidnap some of the children and take them somewhere no one knows, and he would very often burn down institutes that were involved with children, like schools or hospitals. Now, that was the original just text stories. However, that was picked up by some people on YouTube to do video series. And the first one that I know of that got popular, and I think the first one that even started doing it, was a video series called Marble Hornets. Now, the guys who wrote Marble Hornets, or rather, are writing Marble Hornets, also wrote the plot for this game, so there are some similarities. And I'll go ahead and link them in the video description, along with a couple of other Slender Man video series that I keep up with that I think are worth watching if the whole Slender Man mythos appeals to you at all. Now, they added a couple of new things in, I think out of necessity, because you can't really effectively make a long-running series where your main antagonist is somebody who never talks, and who your protagonist can never really struggle against in any effective manner. And if they could struggle against the Slender Man, I think it would reduce the effectiveness of what he is and what he's supposed to be, because he is a really good horror monster. He's unknowable. He is you can't reason with him. You can't talk to him. He has unknown powers. He's seemingly unstoppable. So basically, he's just something that will come for you, will never stop, and you can't ever hope to fight back. You can only hope to survive another day. But because of all of that, the video series have added some new things called proxies. Proxies are people who have been basically mind controlled by Slender Man to do his bidding and do his will out in the world. And mostly what they did was they took the idea of Slender Man kidnapping children, and they basically have taken the idea to another step where Slenderman will pick people out as children and will torment them as children, and they will often forget about it. And then later on, when they grow up, he'll come back for them and will actually take them away and make them into his slaves. Now, a couple of series have done that to varying degrees, but most of the video series on YouTube include that because, as I said, you can't have an antagonist like the Slenderman as the only thing in the series if you want it to last any amount of time. And also because having to make a really interactive Slenderman suit is very difficult, I would think, and very cost prohibitive for these guys who are basically just doing it because they want to, for the most part. I think the Mobile Hornet guys have a little bit more success with it, but I'm not sure. And I believe that's basically it. So now you know what the game is like a little bit. You know at least a little bit about the Slender Man, and I hope you enjoy the Let's Play.